Welcome to I Drink Your podcast.
Oh gosh, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder.
Wait, you like that?
No.
You don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
No, how about that? You like that?
A little better.
Bread makes you fat?
Does this count as annoying?
Just tell me what you want me to fuck!
Not you, and not you.
Okay, I think it's time to take off your clothes and jump me.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool?
I drink your podcast. I drink it up!
Thank you for joining us for another episode of I Drink Your Podcast. We are in the middle of our 2010 season. My name's Ben, and with me today is my regular co-host, Emily.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for making it, Emily. I know you're not feeling well.
Yeah, you know, when you have COVID symptoms and it's not COVID, it still sucks.
Yeah, definitely. And we have special guests here from the Decision Reel. We have Steve.
Hey, what's up?
And Randy.
Hey, guys.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We're excited to have you.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having us on, too. We're definitely excited to be on tonight as well.
Well, before we get started, what is in your glass today? We're going to start with Steve. Actually, let's go Steve and Randy. You guys are both drinking the same thing, right?
Well, we're drinking the same thing. We got some Twisted Teas over here. Randy happened to stop by the store and pick up the big boys tonight. I got a half and half, and he's got, what do you got? You get
I got peach.
He's got the old
It
peach
is
going.
The best one.
Okay.
Is it, though?
Yes.
No. I like the raspberry.
Actually,
Give a little.
Those are actually pretty
That's
good
what I'm
too,
saying.
dude.
It gives it a different, but not like, you don't want to have all raspberry all night Twisted Teas. You just like want that one.
So I save the flavors for like when I'm just going to sip it.
Saving the flavor.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go with the regular twister.
Yeah. If I know I'm like trying to get a little bit drunk, I'm like, all right, I'm going to finish these half and halves first because not my favorite originals. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to savor these flavors and just go with the flow.
Like it.
Yeah.
Can you tie Twisted Teas at all into Macgruber?
I wish I was actually drinking a Caesar right now because then there would be a celery stalk in it, and I could I could really put that into this movie if you wanted to say that, because I could just stick it right up my ass. But no, a Twisted Tea, maybe, hold on, I could twist the celery stalk up. I don't have one, so it doesn't work.
Buddy.
I'm trying really hard. Half and half. Twisted Tea, Macgruber. Ha! Tazo tea. He likes a Tazo tea.
Ooh, there it is.
Large
Tazo tea.
And you have large
never
Twisted Teas.
Take that back.
Awesome. Em, what do you got?
Because I'm sick, I decided to go tea, but honestly, not because Macgruber is into Tazo tea. So very smart to put that together. But I'm drinking Throat Coat to help soothe those throats that got ripped out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I see what you did there. Look at that. Going for the turkey.
Ben, what about you?
I went with a car bomb of the Irish variety. So in honor of his team, which exploded shortly after assembly.
Oh my God.
I've got a stout mixed with Irish cream and Irish whiskey.
Put together a team.
That's good.
Somebody call 911. Sorry, I love this.
No. This week we watched Macgruber, which is available on Nothing. Fuck you. Rent it.
So I want to talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
It makes no goddamn sense that it's not available on anything because
it should be available on Peacock,
show.
Right?
Exactly. It should be on Peacock because there's a TV show that came out on Peacock that is Macgruber. And if you haven't seen it and you like this movie, do yourself a fucking favor and watch it because it's amazing.
Okay. I don't know if this happens for you guys' shows, but it seems like we schedule an episode a couple months out, and then in that month or a month and a half, the movie leaves all streaming sites, and we're just left holding our dicks in our hands. Me, not Emily.
I was like, wait a second.
Holding something in our hands.
Right.
No, we've actually found it. We found it where we'll do a movie and it's not on anything. And then the week after our release, it's suddenly on like Netflix or Amazon, like for free or anything else.
You guys
They're
have the
listening.
horseshoe up
Someone's
your butt?
listening.
Guys, we're really happy to have you on our show. Randy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Decision Reel?
Here we go. Let's see what you got, kid.
So we are part of the Decision Reel. It's where we try and fail to review movies of yesterday and today. Was I close?
Today and yesterday, but you're fine. You're doing great.
It was the same thing.
You're doing great.
Yesterday, today. I feel like yesterday should come before today.
Yesterday does come before today.
See?
Making sense.
Can you explain what you mean by try and fail?
No.
Okay, I'll take this one. So what we alluded to earlier, so we pick a movie and we try to talk about it, but it always goes off the rails, or in our case, reels, since we're called the decision reel, and it always devolves into just random conversations about literally anything and everything, and it honestly, talking about that random stuff makes the episodes that much more funnier and like heartfelt sometimes, and just all around craziness and just funny antics. And then we do kind of get back on and talk about what movies, you know, we're actually there to talk about. We do review them, but like I said, we kind of fail to. But at the end of the episode, we always tie it back together, give it an out of 10 score, and send them home happy.
Very nice.
See, that's why I told you to ask him in the beginning, but you know, that's cool.
Andy, you did just fine.
We got through it together.
You did just fine. Okay, Steve, I'm starting with you this time. Because we're all cinephiles here, at least I'm assuming you are since you have a movie podcast. What movie made you fall in love with movies?
See, that's like a loaded question, right?
It is a loaded question. Answer
there's
it.
not like a movie that made me go, my God, movies are amazing. There was growing up. So I grew up, and everybody's like, hey, he's got to give the story again. I grew up in a different country. I grew up in Canada. And because of that, and a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, Canada's the same and whatnot. But where I grew up was kind of a town in which we didn't have much. So every time my mom would take me to the library, there would be movies to rent, of course, VHSs, because this is back in the day, which was a Wednesday. And I would always get, you know, what was available to me there, which was never like big hits, but just random stuff. But then whenever we got that big hit, it was like, well, shit, I got to get it. But it was always checked out. So it was always like that holy grail of, I got to go to the store, I got to go to the library this time and get it. And finally, if it's there, we can watch it. And that was always, honestly, the Back to the Future trilogy.
Nice.
That was and still is my favorite movie series of all time, which, you know, of course, a lot of people are going to say that too. But Back to the Future 2 is the movie for me. Like, that has everything that I've ever wanted in a movie. It's got everything with story structure, action, dialogue, like just everything. Actually, me and Randy are also musicians too, so the whole musician thing being in it as well, it just ties into everything that like I'm into in my life, and it just so happens to be in one movie. Now, was it because of that movie that I'm into these things? Maybe, but that's the movie that I always kind of gravitate to, and why I say movies are for me.
Very nice.
And that's the only movie that's a 10 out of 10 for you, right?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Back to the Future 2. Number 1, 9.875. But I just like number 2 just a little bit more, just because the future shit to me is like way cooler than the old schoolness
Absolutely.
of the first one. But also the best thing about number 2 is you get the first movie as well. So ipso facto, they're the best movie.
Ipso facto.
Got some shackles in the back.
Okay, Randy, same question.
So we just started a new thing on the Decision Reel where we are doing how have you not seen this? And that is because I have seen barely any movies.
This fucking guy.
But
Randy, you and I are going to be friends.
Exactly. And you said you hadn't seen this movie before, and I was like, I've never heard of it until you guys said I guess Steve wanted to do this one. But one movie that I started going back to, like when I get not started going back to now, but that I can just always watch is it's Transformers.
The original Transformers?
2007?
Or
1984?
No. Not
Damn it.
2007. The good old Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who is sitting next to me on this couch right now?
It's a good movie.
I mean, it's a
movie.
Critically, it's not a good movie, but I fuck with it too.
We already know the critics suck at reviewing these things, though.
Yes and no. I'll give you that. But I will say Transformers 2007, right?
Yep.
I remember watching the trailer and going, this can be awesome. And then I saw that movie and it was awesome. Then the second movie, oh my God, was so bad. And the next one was even worse. It made the first movie like bad for me. Fuck it. I'm going to watch it tonight after this because I do like the first one.
Sorry, Randy, didn't mean to shit all over your movie. I'm going to have to listen back to one of our first episodes and see what I remember about it, because I remember not liking it.
You didn't like Transformers?
Oh, God, no.
Well, I mean, it's a weird movie too, right? Because if you're not into that sort of Michael Bay-esque style movie, even if you don't like Transformers, you're kind of not going to like that movie. But if you're like, you really like Armageddon and you're like, I want to see that with fucking robots, then you're all in.
See, I love Armageddon and I hated Transformers.
Oh, that makes sense because you're like, does it need to have robots?
That's right. It doesn't. I've got Ben Affleck. I don't need robots.
Touche.
Okay, Steve. Randy alluded to it because he's never seen Macgruber either, had never heard of it. Why Macgruber?
So 2 reasons. Number 1, I went and saw this movie in theaters day 1 when it came out. I absolutely loved the SNL skits because growing up in Canada, we got a lot of old TV shows like years later. So I grew up watching MacGyver and like Baywatch and all this stuff when it was already in syndication and was like done for. So when randomly there's an SNL sketch where it's fucking MacGyver, but it's all the things that I was like, this doesn't make any sense. How is he just grabbing shit and making stuff and like it works out? But then the sketches are literally 30 seconds long and every time everything blows up at the end, but then he's back in the next sketch fine. I loved it.
You know how long it took me to realize watching this movie?
That it was based on one sketch?
No, that it was based on MacGyver.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, Emily's in the same boat.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am literally in the same boat. My husband looked at me as I started the movie and he goes, have you seen any MacGyver before? And I went, what's MacGyver? And then he said, okay, have you seen any of the SNL skits? And I said, this is from SNL? What?
Well, and so that's the thing too. Like if you've never seen MacGyver, then obviously the joke just goes right over your head because what the fuck is this, right? But the minute you watch one YouTube clip of MacGyver and then you watch an SNL sketch and you're like, holy shit, he's pulling out bottle caps over his nipples and a fucking, pin out of his belly button. It's like, this is genius.
I knew who MacGyver was. I've just never seen it. But like once he started doing the random shit with like rubber bands and all that stuff, I was like, oh, okay.
Let me use your gun.
Now
I need to stir this
joke.
pot.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So the other reason too is me and my wife share a love of very stupid movies to which we endlessly quote to each other just randomly. This is one of those movies. So like, it's almost like a comfort thing where like, we're not doing anything, just fucking put Macgruber on because it's hilarious. So once the TV show got announced, we were both like, holy shit, what, why? Okay, fuck yeah. And it was honestly better than I ever thought they could have done to a TV show. It's almost like Peacock or NBC said, hey, whatever you guys want to do, here's money. Just do whatever you want to do. And they did it. And you think the movie is like raunchy and crazy? No, they turned it up to fucking 11 in the show.
Well, Macgruber is currently at 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. Myself being such a big SNL and Lonely Island fan, though, this was one that we had to cover.
He's the world's deadliest villain.
Sorry.
He's ruthless.
Don't speak Russian.
Yeah. And brilliant.
Straight flush.
Damn it!
I'm going to turn Washington, D.C. into a pile of ash.
He's known only as Dieter. And until now, he's been unstoppable. What the world needs is a hero who's so top secret, we don't even know his full name.
Hello, Macgruber.
Directed by Jorma Taccone, who is a third of the Lonely Island comedy troupe. He was a writer on SNL, and this is his directorial debut. Starring in this movie is Will Forte, who was an SNL cast member from 2002 to 2010, where he played this very character in multiple sketches, as we talked about. He also starred in Clone High, Beer Fest, and The Brothers Solomon.
I've never heard of any of those.
So, okay, the 2 movies you need to watch that he just said was Beer Fest and Brothers Solomon. Brothers Solomon is another movie me and my wife both like just randomly like, so this is funny. Now all my life is coming back to me about why I like movies. So I used to work at a movie store. It was called Movie Gallery.
Oh my God, you and Ben are the same person.
There you go. It was like a Blockbuster, but it was just like I guess it was just in this area. So we were in Maryland. I think it might have been Maryland through Pennsylvania.
I worked at a movie gallery in Minnesota.
Okay, well then never mind. So it was all of America apparently that I didn't know about. So I worked there for a bit of time, and that I remember the Brothers Solomon coming out, and I had never I was pretty big into movies at that time, so like I didn't even hear about it. And then I'm stocking the shelf on that Tuesday, and I'm like, the fuck is this? Will Forte and Will Arnett? Like, shit, I need to watch this. And I went home and watched it. I was like, this is the dumbest thing, but it's hilarious. And years later, this was probably, I don't know, years later, me and my wife, again, Macgruber, and I was like, man, Will Forte is great. You need to watch this movie. And she watched it without me, and she came back. She's like, holy shit, this movie's fucking terribly awesome. Like, Jesus Christ. So if you haven't seen that, it's in the same vein as this. And it's two brothers trying to make a baby because their dad or something. I honestly, I can't even remember how, because it's so stupid, but it's funny.
Nice.
And I'm going to tout Clone High for those who haven't seen it. Clone High was an animated show from the early 2000s from Lord and Miller, who are the guys behind like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Lego Movie. And Will Forte played Abraham Lincoln at a high school where clones of historical figures all went to like have school together. So Cleopatra, JFK, Gandhi, and Abraham Lincoln all in a high school comedy.
I completely forgot about that. Holy fuck. That was a good show. And it was on, wasn't it on like MTV or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also starring in this movie is Kristen Wiig, who is an SNL cast member from 2005 to 2012. This character that she plays in this movie also appeared in the sketches. And she also appeared in Knocked Up, Walk Hard, Adventureland, and Whip It.
Yeah, she's been in everywhere. Also the Ghostbusters or remake, whatever. We don't talk about that though.
She was in that?
Exactly. She was like the two main characters with her and fucking
Melissa McCarthy.
Right, from the Bachelorette movie. What was that called?
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids, thank you. Bachelorette, whatever, same thing.
The villain in this movie is Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer starred in Top Secret, Top Gun, Willow, Tombstone, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang prior to 2010.
What was that noise for?
And Batman Forever.
And Batman Forever, yeah.
Yeah,
So
come on,
can't
Ben.
leave that one out.
Do you not like him?
Does Ben not like Batman? I think he literally just forgot about
Val
it.
Kilmer.
No, Val Kilmer.
I love Val
like
Kilmer.
You made a noise, yeah.
Okay, I was
okay.
gonna say.
I
if you don't
love
like
Val
it,
Kilmer. Oh my
Made a
god.
noise.
Him in Top Secret and Willow, I was just like in love. And even when I saw him in this, I went, oh my god, is that Val Kilmer?
Last person we'll call out is Ryan Phillippi, who plays a straight man in this movie. He got his start in soaps before starring in I Know What You Did Last Summer, Cruel Intentions, and Crash.
Yeah, Ryan Phillippi was a weird thing for me on this because, like, obviously they had all the different hosts come in on the SNL sketches when they did it, right? And how do you land on him for this movie? I'm not saying he doesn't work well, because he does work well in this role, but it was just like this guy wasn't doing anything and has been out of the spotlight for a while, and all of a sudden now he's in Macgruber? Okay.
Which one was he?
He was Piper.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know until now, but yeah.
Face looks like a vagina.
Emily, tell us what this movie's about straight from the back of the DVD cover.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Wesley, I think, spoiled a big moment in Macgruber for me. So even though I hadn't seen it before, I didn't write a plot synopsis. So
wait, what did he spoil? What did he spoil
the
for?
Sex scenes. He definitely spoiled those hardcore. And I was like,
these broken wings.
So I feel like that would have skewed my perception of this movie a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, when you're going, all right, when is this egregious sex going to happen?
Yeah.
This animalistic, like, I can't even. It's so fucking funny, though, because if you don't know it's coming, it just comes out of nowhere, because the minute, she's fucking fingering his leg hole with a bullet to try and get it out. And he's just like, leave it open. I like holes. And then it like flips to the next fucking scene, and he's just fucking the shit out of her.
She puts her finger in his belly button.
Yeah. Oh, this movie.
Straight from the DVD cover. In the 10 years since his fiancée was killed, Special Op Macgruber has sworn off a life of fighting crimes with his bare hands. But when he learns his country needs him to find a nuclear warhead stolen by his sworn enemy, Dieter von Kunth, Macgruber teams up with his trusty sidekick and an uptight lieutenant to get the job done.
It's Kunth.
One of my first questions of this movie was, is this a cunt joke?
I don't even know if it is, right? Because, like, they don't make a joke about it.
It has to be, dude.
But they don't.
He's going to pound cunt?
Okay.
He's going to pound cunt.
They definitely make a joke of it, yeah.
All right. They make one joke.
And when he first said it, I was
Repeatedly?
like, did he say cunt? Did I just hear it wrong? But no, it turned out cunt.
Yeah, you're right.
I had to watch their mouth while they were saying it. And then he was saying cunts, and I was like, you're treading the fucking waters here, bud. You're very close to saying it.
So, Randy, since you've seen Macgruber now, did you go and actually watch any of the SNL skits?
No.
Okay, so that's what I did last night. I sat there and watched every single one of them, and I didn't know. I mean, Steve, you spoiled it. I didn't know that every single time he always blows up. Every single time. So I'm sitting here and I'm laughing so hard every time that happens. And my husband and my sister are sitting next to me just like, how is she laughing so hard? This is the same thing. And I'm like, is this going to happen every single time?
That's
like
the joke.
Literally
so
every
good.
single time? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah. That's kind of why I like the movie too. Spoilers, if we're getting into it at this point for a, I don't know, 20-year-old movie.
We always spoil the
point,
shit
15.
out of a movie.
How old is this movie? When did it come out?
2010?
Jesus Christ, it's 12 years? All right. So obviously at the end, he does save the day and doesn't get blown up, but you think it's going to happen if you've seen the sketches, right? Because everything's leading up to the same thing of, you know, Piper, get me this or get me that, or Clippers, you know, whatever. And like, you got it, Macgruber. And then he actually saves the day. Or when he's like, he opens the fucking warhead, he's like, oh my God, there's so many fucking wires in here. Like, it's hilarious.
What I really liked about that sketch too, and the way that they used it in SNL, is they would have it be one of the really early sketches, and then it would come back twice or three times in the episode.
Yep.
So when Macgruber showed up, you knew that he was going to be seen 2 or 3 more times in that episode.
Exactly.
I guess that makes sense, seeing it over and over again, because they have the same guest in it. So that makes sense.
That's what I was just going to say. They always bring in a good guest, and it's always like getting progressively worse and worse through the episode. And I remember there was one, I think they brought him back for like COVID or something. And like he was being like a COVID denier. But then at the end of it, he like turned around. It's honestly fucking hilarious.
The Betty White one, though, really destroyed me. Oh my God. So
always Betty White.
Randy, you got to get on that at some point.
Yeah, no, he told me I should watch it before the movie, but I didn't.
It's okay
I honestly
that you
didn't watch the movie until last night.
Well, it's good. You're coming in hot.
Coming in fresh.
Yeah.
SNL sketches becoming movies is something that's very hit or miss. Do you guys have a favorite, like, former SNL sketch that was turned into a movie?
Wait,
I'm sorry. Me to take that one, Randy? Oh, wait, no, you go first.
No, I'm sorry. I just didn't know this is like a common thing that SNL skits become movies. I mean, obviously, there's this whole thing with the Lonely Island making Popstar, which I'm assuming like them as a group became pretty popular through SNL, but I had no idea this is a thing.
Yeah, in the 90s especially, they put out a lot of them. You had like Stuart Saves the World and It's Pat and Wayne's World 2, Night at the Roxbury, Superstar.
Okay, I have seen Superstar. Other than that, I haven't seen any of those.
Ladies' Man was one of them too, I think.
Ladies' Man, yep.
There was one other that I remember, and I was just like, I can't believe they're still doing this. What fuck?
Wayne's World was Saturday Night Live?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was just its own thing.
Well, it was actually started off of Saturday Night Live. It was done something else, but then Mike Myers brought it to Dana Carvey, and they brought it into SNL. Like Mike Myers was doing it before he was on SNL, just the Wayne character, but not as how it is in the SNL and then the movie. But yeah, it was always that.
Gotcha.
I missed probably 2 of the biggest ones too, Blues Brothers and Coneheads.
Yeah. Duh. Fuck. That's what I was thinking. Blues Brothers and Coneheads for sure. And then Blues Brothers 2000, if you want to say, but that's not even.
Those are from Saturday Night Live?
Blues Brothers for sure. Yeah.
Randy, I'm in the same boat. I have no idea what's happening.
We were actually on another podcast a couple weeks back. It was called Review It Yourself with our buddy Sean over in the UK. And we went on and did what was it called? Defend It podcast, Defend It episode with him.
Defend It Yourself.
Defend It Yourself. And we picked Night at the Roxbury. And he suffered through watching that for sure. But you know what? I don't care.
Fantastic. I loved it.
It's another one of those. It's so bad it's good. You know what I mean? Like you gotta look at some movies and realize that movies are entertainment, right? They're not here to be Oscar worthy, beautiful performances and whatnot. They're just here to make you laugh or just be entertained. So like when a movie's dumb and it knows it's dumb and it's not trying to be anything that it's not, why can't a shitty movie be good?
I completely
Fair
agree.
Question.
Each movie has its own mission statement, and this movie is not trying to be anything beyond just a silly satire of MacGyver, and it knows what it is, and I think it does what it wants to do very well.
Right. When he opens up his casket in the beginning and it's literally just his fucking clothes. Oh my God. And then underneath it, it opens up again. He puts the fucking code in and it's just the keys to his car with the rabbit foot. you know what you're getting into at this point. Like, if you're not all of a sudden sold on the movie in the first 10 minutes, like get out of here. Like, you're not going to enjoy it.
I will say the first 4 minutes when it's it's introducing itself as like a heavy action movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't super behind that, but once Macgruber showed up, I was all on board with the comedy.
And I feel like you got to do that though to sway some people to like, oh, wait a second, are they actually?
This is a serious action movie,
right? Are they really making Macgruber serious for a second? And like but the players are the same, and like all that shit is funny.
The game's changed,
right? And then it goes into what it goes into, and then you're like, all right, yeah, all right, it's Macgruber.
So Ben and Steve, obviously you've seen this more than once, but Randy, what were your first impressions just going into it?
I wasn't a big fan of it, the movie in its entirety. I think I stopped being like as intrigued or wanting to watch it once they got to where Macgruber was, and there was a scene like with the Colonel and Piper, like their first scene they had.
Tell me what you want me to fuck. That scene? No, okay, sorry,
no, not that one. Okay. That was all. It was a good scene at that point. So when he was talking about how did you find me and stuff like this, and it was like
when he's at the monastery,
he did the backflip. Yeah, he was like doing the backflip. It was like,
dude,
not everything.
That was like 3 minutes into the movie, bro.
I know it was. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you were like halfway through the movie. You're like, I wasn't with it
at that point.
All right.
But I suffered through it.
Suffered through 3 minutes of my life I can't get back.
And then I kind of enjoyed it after that.
All right.
Yeah.
Emily?
Yeah, I had some similar feelings just generally up through like the first 15, 20 minutes even. There were funny parts in it, but I didn't really start laughing a ton until like maybe when Kristen Wiig's character showed up. And there was just a little bit more playfulness going on. I felt like Macgruber was a character I didn't really understand, especially because I didn't know the backstory of this being like making fun of stuff. Besides like general 80s, 90s action movies, which I have now seen a lot more of, the Predator handshake. I was like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Yes.
See, you're keeping your bod pretty tight.
Yeah. And so generally I was apprehensive, especially in like the first third, but then it grew on me for sure. This feels like a movie that I would have a lot more fun with if I just like was hanging out with a bunch of friends and had it on.
Yeah, I was watching it alone, eating pizza by myself, finishing an entire large fucking pizza.
From where?
Just sitting, Papa John's.
What
PB
style pizza?
It was a good old pepperoni and some pineapple.
Pepperoni and pineapple, huh?
Pepperoni and pineapple.
All right, quick question for you guys. Pineapple on pizza, yeah or nay?
I just don't care.
Absolutely not. No.
There's one pizza. So we have Pizza Luce in Minnesota. It's very
all right.
Local, well-known chain. And there's like this firecracker that has a lot of spicy stuff and like this really interesting spicy mock duck and pineapple. And it tastes pretty good.
Delicious.
But otherwise, like, I just don't care.
My thing, to each their own. You don't like it, you don't like it. If you want it, you want it. What the fuck does it matter? Just like movies. You don't like this movie? Okay, cool. But I like it, so fuck you.
Well, there were a lot of people who didn't like this movie. This movie, as I said, was 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 35%, which means that people going to watch this didn't even like it.
They can get the fuck out, because this movie is great. It got its own mini series.
Yeah, why though?
We don't answer those questions here. We just say it got its own series.
I pulled some bad reviews from Rotten Tomatoes because I wanted to share them here just to see what you guys thought of them. So this is from John Hanlon. He said, "This comedy is an absolute waste of time and easily the worst movie of 2010.
No, that was Unstoppable. Kill me now.
Wasn't Unstoppable
wasn't that bad.
Unstoppable was so bad.
That's the train one, right?
It was not bad as another year, but it was still bad.
I remember reading like that movie's like highly regarded as like being amazing cinema.
Oh yeah, it is highly regarded, but it's fucking trash.
Well, yeah, because it's train. It's just a train, I guess. Polar Express is probably better.
I've never heard of it, so
I don't know. Well, John, whatever his name is, you're wrong, bro, because this movie's all that in a bag of potato chips.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Will Forte. who hasn't starred in a movie before and looks extremely unlikely to do so again.
Oh, fuck.
Lacks the slightest vestige of credibility or charm as Macgruber. He
Oh
also
my
co-wrote
God.
the script. Let's just say comedy is not his forte.
All right, that's pretty good. I feel like people are like missing the jokes though here in this
corny as
movie.
shit.
Like how do you go into this movie and then review it right away going like this was terrible? It's supposed to be terrible.
They probably didn't know it was from Saturday Night Live.
Even if you don't and you go in thinking, all right, maybe the first 3 minutes is like, oh, okay, yeah, this is serious. Oh yeah, whatever. And then it turns into what it turns into. How are you still going, well, this wasn't very good at all. The action set pieces were bad and the acting was terrible. Like, motherfucker's carrying around a radio the entire goddamn movie. Like, you think that was a black punk?
It took me off guard when he took his fucking radio out of the car. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, that threw me. That threw
In
me
the
back.
series, he
like,
does the
real far
same.
back.
He's holding the radio in the entire series too. It's the greatest joke that I've seen in a movie where somebody just goes with it and sticks with it.
How do you unplug it and then plug it back in? It
That
still
was
works in
so
the fucking car.
In the 80s, that was a radio. It was a Blaupunk. So you would take it with you so people wouldn't steal your radio out of your car because that was a huge thing
That's some
in the
ghetto
80s.
shit.
Yeah.
When you had back in the early 2000s when I started driving, when you got a radio or a system put in your car, like the little plate would come off so that people wouldn't steal the plate part of your radio. But yeah, I used to take mine off as well.
Randy's a youngin' here, and he doesn't understand the trials and tribulations of older men.
Okay, I'm not even 30, and I recognize that. So,
Well, Randy, you're just get the fuck out, bro, because you don't even know history. Read about it in a book. What's a book? He says.
oh my
joking.
God,
I'm joking.
You were
Randy,
done.
do you need help?
I need fucking something. I'll tell you what, Jesus.
Next bad review. Leading man Will Forte will make you pine for the graceful savoir-faire of a Jack Black or an Adam Sandler.
I think that man is using too big of words for his own good.
Very presumptuous of you to assume it was a man. That's Catherine Bray.
Okay, Catherine, I'm sorry. This person,
Catherine.
sorry, Catherine, this person is using too big of words for themselves. If they didn't like a movie, just say, I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me.
Well, that's what Matt Brenson tries to do with this one. Are you guys ready for the last one?
So we know he's a man, right?
This is a man, Matt Brunson.
Okay, Matt. Well, we don't know.
Well, that's true.
Assumptions, Ben.
Sorry.
Viewers will eventually be struck by the realization that Requiem for a Dream and Precious, based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire, contained more belly laughs.
Oh.
How do you not laugh when he comes up? Hold on.
Did he just make this about Precious?
He made it about fucking.
How the fuck do you tie those two things in together?
He's trying, but he's not succeeding. Like, how do you not laugh at all at this movie? There's that scene where he's like, "Where were you?" He's like, "I was just taking an upper decker." What's that? Oh, it's where you take a dump in the top tank. Like, how do you not laugh at that?
I mean, to be fair,
You chuckled.
I giggled.
Right, because it's funny.
You know, maybe like out of the nose. It was maybe one of those.
We're 9 blocks away. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you got me. 20 blocks away. That's fucking funny.
Like Emily said, it probably would have been better if I had more people around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I feed off the energy of everybody else. So if they're laughing, I'm going to laugh too.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I was 2 gummies deep when I started watching this movie, and I was belly laughing like crazy.
You were probably laughing before the titles came up. This TV looks great.
I want them as my teachers when I was young. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, this is nice.
Let's jump into the good, bad, and weird of this movie and start with who or what won this movie for you.
Randy, take that. I need to collect my thoughts.
who or what won this movie for me? So I'm giving this movie a 7 out of 10. So I don't know if there's anybody that won this movie for me.
Oh, there's something that was
if you're in the positives,
scene, a line, a shot, one thing an actor did.
So if we're gonna go off scene, so my favorite scene has to be the one where he's in the office with Piper and he's like, "I suck your dick." I'll fuck you. I'll let you fuck me. I'll fuck something in this room. Just point it out and I'll fuck it.
We got some whiteout or some grab some we can make it.
Then he fucking walks in. His fucking pants are down.
Right. He pulls up his fucking tighty
guard.
whities. He's like, oh, and shame. They were really fucking good guys.
Yeah, that's probably the one.
Yeah, I really liked all of the Piper and Macgruber like back and forths. Like the one part where he's talking about I banged my nose into a vagina, and they just go back and forth from there. That I really enjoyed the like their competitive nature that they had.
You stink. Stinks like shit. Yeah, no, I like or even the part where he's just like, how did you know I was wearing a bulletproof vest?
Yes, the human shield.
Right.
Rough.
Yeah.
That was rough.
It's funny though. It's fucking funny. I mean, every part of this movie just makes me giggle, man. Like every part's a joke. Like, okay, the part where he sets up the dead dude in the like the office area towards the end of the movie,
now
right?
You're wet.
Right. And like it's so elaborate. And it's literally just a little cup filled with like a little bit of water. It's like, oh, you're all wet.
And I think it misses everyone too.
Right. It's hilarious. Like that comedy to me just it will stand the test of time for people who think it's funny. Obviously, there's people who are like, that was stupid. Like, what the hell does that mean? Like, learn to laugh.
The introduction of his obsession with the license plate. I fucking love that running joke.
832
KFBR 392.
There you go. It's great. And the best part about that, it doesn't make any sense or lead to anything in the movie, right?
It just sets the bitch on fire.
Right. And he's having a great conversation with whatever as he's doing it. Fuck you, dude, and just runs away. Like, but when Piper finds that notebook too, and it's like the first page clues with one and just nothing, and then the next page, and the next page, and the music is swelling behind him, and then there's a picture of him hanging from a tree, shitting on the dude's face.
Yeah.
How is that not funny to people?
I love that when I was reading a little bit of background that Will Forte just like did all of that. He drew every single piece of that.
That probably took him a whole day.
Definitely.
All right, maybe an afternoon.
Well, Will Forte is my winner of this movie because I think he plays his character to perfection. It's clearly something he's been sitting on for a long time, trying to come up with ideas for this. I love the way he vacillates between like cockiness and naivety.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's talking to Kunth, and Kunth is like, I just recently like put together a group, and then they all exploded. He's like, that happened to me.
Let's talk
or
about
his,
you, not a fucking
his
retard.
manuscript or something.
Yeah.
Manifesto.
This I'm framed.
Dude, it wasn't me.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Or the way he walks into that room when they're playing poker, and he's just like, he's bluffing.
All in.
It's just a great character that he clearly knows back and forward.
I hope you enjoy being date raped tonight. That's my daughter. Just the fucking part where he finally meets, or he sees Vicky St. Elmo again, and she's like, I thought you were dead. He's like, me too.
So did I.
But I'm not. I'm here.
Right? It's so fucking great. His character, you're right, he has it like spot on. He knows what the character is. Even though it's ridiculous, he still knows the character so well that every bit of screen time, he's just chewing it up. You know what I mean? Like the part where he's got the celery stick in his fucking ass and he's holding his nuts, and he's just like, he's got that stupid grin on his face, just bumping around. Even Piper is about to shoot the guy. He looks at him, he's like, oh shit, I should shoot these guys. Like, it's fucking funny. I was a distraction. Yeah, but I killed him. Yeah, I killed 3 guys.
On a similar vein, I also went with an actor, and I chose Kristen Wiig.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I thought, very similarly to you, Ben, I thought she really hit this character hard in just such a great way, where she brought in a lot of just really weird quirkiness to counteract a lot of the masculinity, honestly. One of my favorite parts, honestly, is just her sitting there at the wedding and her friend getting exploded all over her, and just like her face, just the way that she reacts. And, you know, her singing her music is just so fucking funny, the way she commits
really
to
is.
that. One of my all-time favorite scenes in this entire movie is the coffee shop scene. I thought that was so fucking funny, where you know, she dresses up as Macgruber and she's super apprehensive, like, okay, this is really stupid. You know, she's saying exactly what we're all thinking as audience members, like, this is so dumb. Why isn't it just you? And then all of us, you know, this is so dumb. And then again, she ends up being a disguise again. It's just so funny to me seeing her.
That's not Hans.
Dressed up and the way that she reacts to how ridiculous things are.
I thought there was a funny scene in that where Macgruber is like doing her hair and he kind of like looks at her. He's like, I think you're really pretty right now.
She was like, thank you.
Right, thank you. And he does that like extra like, you know, just staring at himself. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good.
When they show Vicky dressed up in the second costume and then they pan out and Ryan Phillippi is dressed as Macgruber, that's the part I think I gut laughed for 20 seconds on that.
Oh yeah, because he's like, why am I dressed as you?
Right.
Just because. I only got 2. I was going to be really upset too because I only have 2 of these vests right now. So
they're not expensive. They're just really hard to find.
Other stuff you enjoyed about this movie? Lines, performances, scenes?
I mean, it's hard to really pick because, like I said, this movie almost feels like SNL skits back to back to back to back. Like every scene is a skit in itself, but I feel like it's done that way on purpose, obviously. But it still has an overarching story that works very well. I think like this movie could have been just stupid altogether, but the actual like plan that Kunt has and everything isn't a bad plan. You know what I mean? Dieter von Kunt. Come on. So it's really hard to pick a scene, but I feel like the comedy that gets me the most is literally him just carrying around that radio the entire movie. Like when you're gonna make a joke, cool, all right, awesome, and then you just stick to it. It's almost like genius at that point because it's not going to be funny, then it's going to be funny again, then you're going to be like, this is so stupid, but then it's funny again when he still has it at the end of the movie.
That's a fair point. I feel that way a lot when it comes to comedy, where you try something weird and everyone just kind of chuckles at it, but the commitment that you get from that can sometimes be funnier than any new joke.
Right, exactly. Just steer into it if you think it's maybe a funny thing, but it's not, but you're not sure. Just keep doing it until it comes back to being funny.
Or it could just get worse and worse as it goes.
That's true. It could too.
I'm taking a gamble on that one.
For sure. I mean, definitely. But the thing with the radio is it's genius because it's either really funny or it's really stupid, but it does not distract from the movie. It doesn't take anything away from what's happening, right? So you're either going to find it hilarious or think it's just stupid.
And honestly, that one, it kind of added to the movie too, because when he was getting thrown out of the party or whatever.
Right, he just smashes it against the thing and tucks it.
Duct tapes it back. He's trying to take it out of the fucking car.
It makes it even better. Right, exactly. So I'm just trying to think of any other point in the movie where like the KFB thing is fucking funny because again, it doesn't need to be in the movie, but it's there.
Yeah.
I think I also want to just compliment Val Kilmer in this. I mean, I've always loved Val Kilmer, and he's not afraid to do something funny ever. And him being a villain in this is just so fucking funny. He looks like he's having the greatest fucking time. He looks like he is able to just do whatever and mesh really well with all the actors, but still just be this charismatic evil guy. I really had a great time with him.
It almost felt fresh too, right? Because I mean, what else has he done where he's been this villain-esque, over the top kind of like Batman, villain, right? And he definitely, you can tell he's relishing the role almost and having fun with it for sure, like you said. But also he just feels almost too real as a villain. You know what I mean? Like there's that one scene where the guy that fucked up and let Macgruber into the party, and he's explaining to him like, oh, whatever. He's like, just move over to a little bit to the left, and he just shoots him. Hang that up on your way out and go kill Macgruber. Like,
that's right. So he's a doctor in what? Because I know they said that
doesn't really matter, does it? Like,
no, I gotta know because he's like painting and shit. Like, is he an art history
maybe
doctor?
Like a psychologist,
I don't know,
maybe or something. And
he had a very psychologist kind of vibe to him.
Cerebral.
Let's go with that.
Sure, yeah.
He was a psychologist.
I was just curious.
Blood spatter analysis. I don't know.
Did anything in this movie not work for you? Any bad?
Randy, this is your moment.
Yeah, I was going to say this should be what you want because you're going to go, this movie sucks.
I'm thinking.
I don't honestly, I mean, like the movie to me, like I was saying, works because there is a good story there, even though it's kind of ridiculous, but it still makes sense. There's nothing that pulls you out of the movie. There's nothing that like takes its time or falls flat, for me at least. I'm sure there's a couple jokes that fall flat for people, but for me, I'm just like in it the entire time. I can put this movie on, or I can like, it can be, you know, if it was on TV, I could just come into it at any point and just enjoy it. I don't think there's anything in this movie besides it ending that I don't like. Like,
I don't think there's anything that like
is jarring.
Yeah, that like I really hated, other than that first scene that I was like, I don't know if I want to keep watching this movie, but I'm gonna have to because we're doing it for the podcast.
I'm stuck in here.
Yeah, so I had to watch it. But I mean, after I got past that, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if there was anything really specific that I was not a big fan of. Weirdly enough, though, I didn't like Piper and Macgruber's interactions sometimes. I felt like they became a little too far. And I don't have like any specifics or why it rubbed me the wrong way. It just did. I was like, okay, why is this a still thing?
Like they kept arguing with each other, or like,
well, I didn't mind that they were arguing. It was like the way that they were talking to each other. Mostly it was Macgruber. There were times where like Macgruber himself, I guess I would assume as like the action hero, he would be more likable. And it made it seem like he was really stupid, which I get, but it was just confusing to me of where this character was in his relationship with like this new lieutenant guy.
Well, if we're going to get deep into it and into psychology, let's do it. He was like, he was scared of Piper, or like almost emasculated by him, because his is this new guy showing up and being like way better than him. And you could tell Macgruber doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. You know what I mean? So you could, we're putting together a team, you know, because he needs a team, because he doesn't do anything. Like if you want to really break it down until at the end when he starts ripping throats, you're like, this dude really sucks. Like he's trying to make that hand grenade and it just, you know what I mean? So you don't see anything through the movie of him doing stuff or whatnot. So in reality, like you could see him lashing out at Piper because he's threatened by him almost, right?
True. So I think what I had a problem with was the beginning. Piper was listing all of his accomplishments and they were just ridiculous with the amount of purple hearts that he had and the amount of all of these different
16 purple hearts, some shit.
And I'm like, he looks 27. I got 16
and
purple
I'm
hearts.
sitting there expecting something big, and especially because I hadn't seen the SNL sketch, so I didn't really understand. I thought they were just making it exaggerated because it's funny to exaggerate in this context, because there's no reasonable way that a person could do this at their age. And then as it like continues, I'm just seeing how useless he is, honestly, and how like he keeps making these decisions that are, yes, funny, but also just kind of changing my expectation. I guess I expected a little bit more from what I thought was going to be an action movie comedy spliced together. And so when there were moments with Piper and Macgruber arguing with each other, it just felt like Macgruber was just taking these really low shots for no rhyme or reason, because I expected Macgruber to be way better than he was. So that was the only thing that just kept me confused.
I get it. Yeah. And to me, though, the movie is the whole point of Macgruber isn't good. He just like randomly succeeds because of oopsies, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing he does besides, like I said, at the end finally picking up a gun and shooting people. Like, why have I fucking been doing this forever? Like, you know, and even when he pulls open the missile, like I said, he doesn't know what he's doing. You know, so it's almost like everything he's ever accomplished is just by accident.
Yep, it's all part of the plan. I make it up as I go. For a character who's always offering to suck other people's dicks, like the homophobia bit with the Big Show and him not wanting him on the team because he kissed a guy, like that didn't really feel in character to me.
I put that under my weird because I didn't know if they were commenting on the fact that Macgruber was a little homophobic, or if it was just like, you know what, you're with your husband, you look happy and settled, and you were just like, this is a loving relationship. But it was also 2010, so it could have gone either way at that point.
I don't know.
Yeah,
he crossed his name off rather violently, so
right,
I don't think it was, oh, he's great with his fucking
but
husband.
I mean, but it could still, that was exactly what I was going to say. It could still be, oh, you're happy, I don't want to take you away from your family.
Violently.
Yeah.
No, you're happy.
Yeah. And then he's like,
My wife is dead. Ah!
Right, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to go fuck her ghost on this tombstone while I make sure.
Weird.
But yes, Ben, you know, we're reaching the tail end of the naughty 2000s, and we still get some of those movies. I don't know if they do as well. I mean, this movie didn't do well, but, you know, I don't know how well a lot of the raunchier movies do nowadays.
Well enough to get its own TV series. No, you're absolutely right, though, right? Because there's no movies that are coming out that are raunchy comedies anymore. There's none of that, like, what can we get away with or what can we joke about anymore? Because nobody knows what they can joke about and get away with. And also, I feel like with streaming services becoming kind of big, there's no DVD sales anymore for these raunchy comedies that would be the unrated or straight to DVD stuff. Matt Damon actually talked about it on one of the Hot Ones shows, where he was just like, you know, I would, you know, get a movie made and we would guarantee ourselves with so much money from a DVD sale. Now you don't have that. You have a straight, this is what Netflix is going to pay to put it on, and no one's going to buy it on DVD. So you can't guarantee that type of money you would get. So all these lower tier movies are just not being made anymore.
Mm-hmm. Could be a good thing.
Could be a good thing for sure, but you don't have those, you know, the 11th American Pie presents whatever movies anymore. You just get whatever shitty Netflix special there is.
How about weird? Anything that struck you as really off or out of place?
The celery stick in his ass was a little weird, but I laughed for it.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Because it's funny.
Where did he get the celery stick from?
He found it in the garbage.
I do distinctly remember that.
The garbage.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember that.
I think it was him eating it, though, that turned me off more than anything.
I watched it. I watched it. No, I didn't.
I don't remember that part either. What the fuck was I watching?
I don't know. You're probably on your phone.
There were so many weird parts, and I don't know if they were ever bad. Just everything about this movie was weird. I think that the whole build up to the sex scene was extremely uncomfortable.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That was weird.
The sex scene with his dead wife on the tombstone, like you said, Steve.
It's funny though.
It is funny, but it was definitely weird just seeing Will Forte's ass. And there was this one part, you know, his ass is really zoomed in and it's slow motion. I'm like, I don't really want to see Will Forte's ass. Thank you, though.
I wonder if they like watched Ghost and was like, how can we make this uncomfortable? Have him fuck his ghost wife on the tombstone, but there's a dude watching and she's not there. And just zoom in on the ass. That's it. I'm going to shoot.
I'm going to shoot too.
God, it's so fucking funny.
Yeah. Ben, is your realization that you're Macgruber?
No, but that was a sad realization when I'm like, wait.
He texts me while he's watching it and he's like, wait, am I Macgruber?
In what context?
I know, right?
Yeah. Explain.
The context matters.
Because I was watching the sex scene and he was way behind me. And I was like, what's happening?
Wait a second. What are you trying to tell me?
It was just the idea of talking like I know what I'm talking about, but really it's just spewing shit.
Oh.
No.
Which you guys have known me for now an hour, so you know that it's true. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is my weird, and it has to do with an audio effect. But anytime there was an explosion, it was accompanied by a screeching panther noise.
Yeah. I noticed that at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
That pulled me out of it. I was like, what the fuck what is that?
I like it because it's like they said, what's the craziest like 80s stuff ever, right? Explosions and lions and fucking panthers. Let's just put them together. Fuck it.
I don't know why it took me until like the warehouse exploding where the warhead was. I didn't notice it until then. I was like,
it was through the whole movie.
I was like, what the
I didn't
fuck
notice
was
it
that?
at all.
No, it's through the entire movie. I think every explosion has this just on it.
Yep.
But it's funny.
That sounds like fun.
It's funny. It was just weird. I didn't
I
dislike
want to
it.
make a movie and do stupid shit like that. That'd be fun.
It would be.
Great. Doesn't that sound like a great time? Let's do stupid shit.
Yeah, it reminds me of Wet Hot American Summer, where
yes,
like the pod is breaking in the background anytime something's thrown off screen.
Now that you say that, yeah.
let's put a cork in this thing and give our final thoughts on Macgruber, and we're going to start with Steve.
Oh, Jesus, you put me on the spot.
30
Final
seconds.
thoughts, Macgruber. So, 30 seconds? Jesus. Do I have to give it like an out of 10 score?
Wrap
or
it
just,
up. No, whatever
you
wrap
want
it
to
up,
say.
B. Macgruber, one of my favorite stupid comedies of the 2010s. It's got everything I'm looking for. Action, romance, fucking stupidness, even more stupidness, and Will Forte being stupid.
Excellent.
Good job.
Was that 30
Randy,
seconds? I don't know.
That was perfect.
I'm not going to need 30 seconds.
You might now.
Came out a little weird. It was all right.
I don't need 30 seconds. I need
It was all right.
15.
That's all I got. It was all right.
It's all right.
Just all right. It was all right. You didn't laugh more than twice.
Nah.
Watch it again.
I give it 5.
Let's have.
I laugh 5 times.
Give it another month.
I'm gonna shoot.
I shot 2.
God damn it! Give it a month. We'll sit down with some more Twisted Teas. We'll watch it.
We'll have to watch it again. I might have to watch some Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, if you watch the skits, you'll be
You're
like,
taking up my 30 seconds.
Well, you said you
didn't need it.
You said it was all right.
It was all right.
I'm taking the
I give
rest
it
of
a
your 30
7 out of
seconds.
10. 7 out of
7.
10.
It's giving a 7.
Emily.
I think I liked Hot Rod more than this movie, but I still really enjoyed the humor. I thought it was extremely funny at parts, wacky, but definitely a movie that I would rather watch with a group of people than on my own by myself.
What she said.
It's a party movie.
Yep.
I like the comparison to Hot Rod, Emily, because that's the movie that this one felt the most like to me as well. This one does something that a lot of the comedies that we talk about on the show don't do, and that's it stays strong with the comedy all the way till the end. Whereas sometimes those comedies in the third act, they kind of lose their way for the purposes of plot. Mm-hmm. This movie didn't do that. This movie was strong with comedy from minute 5 till the end, because the first 5 minutes wasn't funny, but it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, you're right. Because right at the end, he's like, "I'm gonna cut your dick off and shove it down your throat." And he's
dick's
like,
"Not there."
Come on, get it right. Exactly. It's fucking great.
Fucking Val Kilmer.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, 5 seconds on to my time. Val Kilmer is amazing in this movie. I have a picture right beside us that is signed by Val Kilmer from Tombstone.
Oh shit!
And right, grab it, Randy. You can put it on camera for them.
That's Val Kilmer?
It's so fucking.
Doesn't even look like him.
I know, right? But he kills this movie. Like I said, he eats up every scene that he's in. He's loving being in it. Like he's just killing it. Like look at that.
Aww.
Oh yeah,
exactly. So I'm a big Val Kilmer fan, and this movie like cements it for me. You know what I mean? Like it's something that's not in his resume, and he just kind of gets in it and just kills it.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get the idea?
I just try to think creatively.
We are going to play a little Twits Light today.
Yeah.
Randy and Steve, if you haven't listened to the show before, we used to do Battle of Twits, where we would prepare questions ahead of time and then kind of write out answers, and it was hours of work. So we decided to do Twits Light, which is just all improv. So I'm going to ask a couple questions kind of related to the movie. Just give me your first reaction, whatever it is. So these questions kind of build on each other as if it's the end of this movie. So we can't get past the guards. We need a distraction. How do you distract the guards to let us slip past?
I mean, I'm not using celery in my butt.
No.
I'm going to use a carrot in my butt? No.
But use the wide end first, right? You got to use the wide end first.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, right? But trust me.
Carrot in the butt.
So here's what I'm going to do, because I've seen Top Secret. I am friends with someone who has a cow suit and rubber boots. And so I'm going to dress up like a cow. And that's how we're going to get past the guards.
Okay.
I just do one of those things where they toss a rock to the other side.
What was that noise?
Oh, in the video games.
Yeah. Just fucking toss it. And they're like, what?
Oh, this was like actually like in real life. I thought we were like in the movie
idiot,
Macgruber. What are we
attention.
doing if we were in the universe of
No,
Macgruber?
stupid.
My answer still is the same.
Okay.
Your answer should still be the same.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to strip butt ass naked. I'm going to find a carrot and just shove it up there. Look at me. I don't know how I'm getting by them because they're seeing me, but it's fucking, I'm in it now at this point.
Well, then it can like change into shoot 'em up because now you got a carrot. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie.
Okay, number 2, the guards are right on us. What's your signature move to incapacitate them, a la the throat rip?
Nut punch into knee to the face. Because once you nut punch them, they're going down to grab their testicles, and then you get them the knee in the face.
What if they don't have nuts like Val Kilmer?
It's still gonna hurt getting hit down there, to be honest.
That is accurate.
Miscongeniality.
I wouldn't know, but you know.
Miscongeniality. What was her thing? Sing. She said, instep, nose, solar plexus, groin.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
That movie taught us so much.
It really did.
Miss
a good movie.
United States.
Probably just punch him in the throat, honestly.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing to do. Break their windpipe. Everybody has a windpipe, right? So if you punch them in the windpipe,
you're
and then you're good.
Okay, signature move, because we just watched Harry Potter 7 Part 1. I'm just going to rip people's ears off. So similar to throat ripping, but ears.
Yeah.
That's a thing. But what is that doing to your... He's just going to be mildly upset.
It's going to hurt.
No, but then you shouting it.
It's going to hurt. No, I was going to just make like a necklace of ears or something so they all fear me.
I mean, all right, it's probably mildly inconvenient and probably would hurt and you're bleeding everywhere. So
it's gonna hurt like a bitch.
I mean, depending on what you rip off. I've seen Mike Tyson get his ear bit off and he just kept fighting.
He just said he was gonna rip off his ear.
Right.
It's gonna hurt.
In the moment, adrenaline going, it could work. We won't know until we try it. So report back.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay, question 3. I've got a little surprise for you. What trap have you set?
Randy's like, my dick. No. What trap have I set?
Yeah, just like Macgruber's cup of water.
You're all wet. God damn it! I'm not good at setting traps.
Just a tripwire.
Maybe a psychological trap.
Ooh,
where I'll talk them to death, because that's my secret weapon.
You're pretty good at that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll like bait them into thinking one way and we'll become friends. And then I'll like, once their back is turned, I'll be like, oh, cool. And then throat rip them.
You're going to long con them 20 years down the road when you're the best man in their wedding.
Oh, perfect. And that way, when they're coming up on, she's coming to the thing, I'll kick them to the side. Boom. I'm marrying your wife.
There it is.
How the turntables.
No, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do because my dad did this to me once. I would have a box of Tic Tacs. And they would all be screws, not Tic Tacs. And so I would shake them around and be like, you want a Tic Tac? But I would cover the sides of it. And so they would like chew on them and break all their teeth. So they'd have to go to the dentist.
Dad did that to you?
Jesus,
I didn't actually eat them. I was not that
teeth?
stupid. No, but he would shake them. No, he would shake them like they were Tic Tacs. And I'd be like, oh, and then he'd show them to me. And I'd be like, you asshole.
How big of screws were these?
Just little screws.
Sound
like Tic Tacs.
Little baby screws. All right.
It sounds like Tic Tacs.
What if they weren't Tic Tacs? They were cyanide capsules, and you're like, "Oh, your breath stinks. Have a Tic Tac." Boom, dead.
That is a prank.
Well, I thought we were trying to get by the guards.
We're not talking about guards anymore.
I thought it was all. Oh Jesus! I thought it was all connected.
I wasn't in her car. Don't worry. It was a fake one.
Okay, you've just defeated the guy. Give us a badass action one-liner to take you home.
Oh, shit.
The guy.
Whoever you're fighting. You're big bad.
Oh, God. I always think of Arnold, everything he said. Like,
that's exactly what I was thinking, too.
Hang in there when he fucking throws the knife at the dude, or welcome to the party, Victor. I don't got a good one-line. Like, am I murdering him and then I'm saying it as he's dying? Or as I'm like winning and running away from an explosion? What's the context?
Build us a scene, whatever you want it to be.
No. Here's what I would do. Here's what I do, because I'm inspired by all these Disney movies, right? So we'd be at like this warehouse, right, on the roof, and somehow I was going to get him tangled up in, and he wouldn't notice this, getting tangled up in like a kite string, and then I'd push him off the roof and go, let's go fly a kite.
I kind of like that.
Okay.
It made me think of John McClane was like, welcome to the party, pal. I don't got a one-line. I'm bad at this. I usually have a good one-liner for things.
I'm terrible at one-liners.
Yeah, I don't. It's okay. So I'm kicking him into like, or off a cliff, and I'm gonna say like, watch your step. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
But I'll say it just like that, not like super like, oh, watch your step. I'm just gonna say, oh, watch your step.
Watch your step, bro. All right.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, it was the hand gesture that sold it. Yeah.
Oh, I really like whoopsies.
There's a cliff there.
Oh, didn't see that coming. That's my one-liner. There
That's
we
it.
go.
Didn't see that coming. Boom. Or do you say it after you shoot him?
After.
Didn't see that coming.
That coming.
Nah, that doesn't work. You got to
No, it works.
kick him in the balls.
Just don't
then
think don't think too hard about it and just let it be a liner.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
Well, guys, we're so happy that you were able to join us, especially for this game. Thanks, Ben, for taking it on this week.
Yeah.
Next week, we are going to be watching The Fighter with Dylan, and should be a fun time.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'd love for Steve, Randy, plug your show one more time.
I like how Randy went, oh, God damn it.
I'm not doing this.
I'll plug it. Fuck it. So we are The Decision Reel. You can find us on our social medias, which is at The Decision Reel.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Our website at www.thedecisionreel.com. On there, you can find all of our other episodes. We've actually reviewed Macgruber back on like episode 29 or something ways ago. You can find our thoughts on that with all the other people who are on The Decision Reel. It's not just me and Randy. We got some other people on there as well. It's actually a revolving cavalcade of people. They come and go and whatnot, and it's kind of fun just because it keeps it kind of spontaneous, and who knows who's going to be on. I'm always on. I guess it's always me
Yeah.
doing stuff.
Yep.
But like I said, we review movies of today and yesterday. It's anybody's guess of what it's going to be the next week. It's kind of like a roulette of, hey, we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, and it's always a fun time. Like I said, we have guests on there. We do what we can and have a good, terrible time.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, for listening to I Drink Your Podcast. You can follow us on social media on Instagram and Twitter at IDYP_podcast, or email us at idrinkyourpodcast@gmail.com. Before we finally leave, we are going to have Steve in his best Daniel Day-Lewis impression end the episode by saying, I drink your podcast, I drink it up.
Hold on, question.
How does he even Daniel Day-Lewis sound?
Is it always Daniel Day-Lewis?
Not always, but a lot of times it is.
What can
we change it?
Can we do a different one?
I'm not good at, I don't know what even Daniel Day-Lewis sounds like. Is I drink your podcast. I don't know what that even.
He's got a mean Christopher Walken.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I'd love to hear Christopher Walken.
Hey, no, okay, so what was it again? What was the line?
I drink your podcast, I drink it up.
Oh, shit.
I drink your podcast, I drink it up.
All right, you put me on the spot. Hold on, I gotta get into the Christopher Walken.
I drink it up.
I drink your podcast, I drink it up.
There you go.
Hey, crazy. Whoa.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on again.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.